Legend of Yufei Chapter 57.
In that opening scene, it's just pure chaos, isn't it? You've got the Jurchen generals, Wan Mutuochi and Wan Mutuos.
Right, and they just unleashed this linked cavalry on the Song vanguard. The sources say the Song committed, 5 generals? Including Dong Xian?
And 5,000
troops?
Yeah, 5,000. Sent out to meet the charge.
And the result? It was brutal. Less than an hour, the sources say. Less than 60 minutes.
And the whole group.
Wiped out. Just gone. 5,000 soldiers, 5 generals, erased. This wasn't just losing ground. It was proof that Jurchen had built something truly terrifying.
You really have to picture this thing coming at you to get the sheer fear factor. It sounds less like cavalry and more like some kind of, medieval tank division.
Well, it was engineered, wasn't it? For maximum shock and minimal weakness, it starts with the protection. The horse's heavy armor, raw camel hide.
Okay, tough hides. But the linking, that's the really unique part.
That's the innovation. Iron hooks, iron rings, linking groups of maybe 30 horses together in each rank. So you get this continuous armored line moving as one.
30 horses wide. So you couldn't just pick off a rider or flank a small group. You're literally hitting an armored wall.
Precisely. And the soldiers riding them. Just as scary.
How so?
Raw oxide armor. But also, this psychological element, they wore these false oxhide faces, masks basically, with only the eyes showing. Imagine seeing that coming at you.
Oh, wow. Inhuman.
Totally. And they charged in 100 rows deep, bristling with bows, arrows, long spears. Just think about the momentum. 3,000 linked horses hitting your line at once, and normal tactics just bounce off.
So when the news of this disaster gets back to Yufei, the source really emphasizes his reaction. It wasn't panic, though.
No, not panic. It was profound grief. Recognition, too. He apparently cried out, "Alas, alas!" For the lives just white-wasted.
That grief came from understanding what it was then.
Exactly. He knew. And this is where Yufei's genius really shines.
Yep.
It wasn't just about battlefield command. It was just his deep, deep knowledge of military history.
Okay.
He immediately recognized the tactic, said it had been used almost 100 years before by General Hu Yanzhua, a notorious figure.
So wait, this terrifying new weapon wasn't actually new. The key was remembering history.
That's the fascinating part. Historical retrieval, not just tactical invention. And if he knew the threat from a century ago...
He must have known the counter-tactic, right? So what was it, this crucial countermeasure? And how did he know it? Was it written down somewhere?
He knew the specific counter, the only one known to work against this formation. The hooking spear. The Gulian kick.
Hooking spear, okay.
And he knew it because the technique, the knowledge of how to use it, had been passed down through generations, specifically by someone named Zhu Ning. Yufei's brilliance was pulling out this very specific old playbook and putting it into action.
Fast.
Right, because he needed results now. No time for weeks of R&D. He had to build a specialized counterforce overnight. So what were the orders? What did he actually do?
Well, first things first, he knew you couldn't just attack. You needed defense. So for the offensive part, he ordered 2 generals, Meng Bangji and Zhang Xian, take 3,000 troops. Their job, drill relentlessly with the hooking spear. Start immediately. Okay, 3,000 spearmen. But what about the defense? That crucial part needed to let the spearmen actually use the spears without getting trampled or shot first.
Exactly. So he ordered 2 other generals, Zhang Li and Zhang Yang, to take another 3,000 troops. Their task, master the cane shields, or rattan shields, tengpai.
Rattan shields. That sounds kind of basic compared to armored cavalry. Why specifically rattan? Why was that so critical?
This is where it all connects, you see. The linked cavalry strength was momentum, but also ranged attacks, bows and arrows to soften up the line before impact.
Right.
Standard heavy shields, heavy armor would be too slow, too cumbersome. But these rattan shields, woven rattan, they were light, really mobile, and surprisingly good at deflecting arrows, glancing spear blows.
So they let the soldiers move quickly, close the distance, but still have protection.
Exactly. They could form a protective shell, absorb that initial volley of arrows, maybe even slow the charge just enough, while keeping their hands free for the spears.
Like a mobile, arrow-proof wall designed to stall the charge just long enough.
Just long enough. And crucially, to let the spearmen get low, because that's where the target was.
Where?
The horse's legs, the one vulnerable spot in that whole formation.
Okay, so while Yufei is drilling his troops in this combined arms approach, shields and spears, the Jurchen commander, Wuzu, he's not just sitting still, right? He's got a bigger plan.
Oh, yeah. Wuzu and his advisor, Ha Michi, they figure fighting Yufei head-on is just too risky, too costly. especially now.
So they try diversion.
Big one. They send this general, nicknamed the Kite-Eyed Lord, Jenin Longjun, with 5,000 troops, secretly, across the river, his target.
Let me guess. The capital. Winning.
Bingo. Attack the capital, force Yufei to pull back from the front line to save the emperor.
And then Wuzu ambushes him from behind, trap him between two forces. Clever, but risky.
Very. And this whole side plot brings us this, this slightly absurd incident on the road. It really highlights the kind of internal problems Yufei was dealing with, too. Competence versus corruption.
Ah, the logistics guy, Wang Jun.
That's the one. A colonel, but apparently a corrupt political hack appointed by Qin Hui, the infamous traitor.
Okay, so this Wang Jun is escorting vital supplies, grain.
And who does he run into? The Kite-Eyed Lord and his 5,000 troops heading for the capital.
Oh, boy. How did that go for Wang Jun?
Predictably terribly. Apparently, after only like 7 or 8 rounds of combat, Wang Jun turns tail and flees. Utter disgrace, leaving the grain behind.
But someone else steps in.
Thankfully, yeah. General Nu Gao, a real fighter. He shows up, sees this foreign general causing havoc, engages him. Nu Gao actually kills the Kite-Eyed Lord, drops him with a mace blow to the shoulder, scatters the Jurchen diversion force, saves the grain. A proper victory.
Okay, great. Nu Gao saves the day. But there's a twist, isn't there, with Wang Jun?
Here's the political mess Yufei had to navigate.
Yeah.
Wang Jun, the coward, somehow convinces Nu Gao, the actual hero, to let him, Wang Jun, take the credit. Give him the Kite-Eyed Lord's head.
Seriously.
Probably pulled rank, political connections, who knows. But Wang Jun takes the head, takes the grain, rides back to Yufei, and claims he won the battle, he killed the enemy general, even claiming he saved Nu Gao in the process.
Wow. So how does Yufei handle that? He must have known Wang Jun was full of it.
Oh, the sources imply Yufei knew perfectly well Wang Jun was lying through his teeth. But think about the situation. Starting a massive political fight over this, accusing a Qin Hui appointee.
It could destabilize everything, right when he needs unity.
Exactly. So Yufei makes a pragmatic call. He formally records the merit for Wang Jun, accepts the head, accepts the grain, he keeps the army stable, gets the supplies, and trusts that he knows who his reliable officers really are. It's a glimpse into the messy reality of command.
Right. A necessary compromise? Maybe. Okay, so that side plot is dealt with. Back to the main event. The linked cavalry. The specialized troops are trained now.
They're ready. Yufei doesn't waste time. He sends them out. Meng Bangji, Zheng Xian with the spears, Zheng Li, Zheng Yang with the shields. Their mission: challenge the Jurchen camp directly. Take the fight to the linked cavalry.
This is the big test then, round 2?
And it's the polar opposite of the first encounter. That first one was a massacre. This was combined arms tactics working perfectly. Just textbook execution.
Okay, walk us through it. How did this relatively small, specialized force stop that monster that wiped out 5,000 men earlier?
Right, so defense first. Zhang Li gets the rattan shield troops moving. They form this tight surrounding perimeter, like a moving wall.
Okay.
The Jurchen charge, expecting to break through like before. But they hit this flexible, mobile shield wall. Their arrows, mostly deflected by the rattan, their spears, glancing blows, their momentum, completely scalded. They're basically pinned down inside this ring of shields.
So the shields neutralize the charge and the ranged attacks and trap them.
Exactly. And once they're stopped, pinned in place, that incredible mobility of the linked cavalry suddenly becomes its biggest weakness.
Because they're all hooked together.
Precisely. They can't maneuver individually. So with the cavalry halted and the Song troops protected by the shields, then the hooking spears come into play.
Ah, the offensive part. How did the spears work?
The key is the hook. They weren't just for stabbing. The spearmen got low, aimed for the horse's legs to trip them. But the hook's design was crucial.
How so?
When it snagged a horse's leg, the hook was also designed to catch and interlock with those iron rings, linking it to the horses beside it.
Ah, so tripping one horse physically pulls down the others it's linked to.
That's the chain reaction. Because they're locked together, 30 abreast, when the first few horses stumble and fall, they drag the others down. It becomes this chaotic mass pileup. Horses trampling horses, soldiers trapped. The formation literally destroys itself from within.
Wow. Using their own system against them. That's brilliant.
Utterly brilliant. The momentum that was their greatest weapon now just traps them in a tangled mess. The whole formation, this terror weapon the Jurchen spent years perfecting it, just disintegrated quickly.
And then?
Yeah.
Any follow-up? Oh, yeah. Once the main formation was broken, Yufei's son, Yun, and other generals hit the now disorganized Jurchen flanks, swept them up, consolidated the victory. It was total.
The strategic impact must have been huge, losing the linked cavalry. That wasn't just losing a battle for Wuzhou.
No, the sources say Wuzhou was absolutely crushed, devastated, driven to tears, apparently.
Tears, really?
Yeah. He confessed to his advisor, Halichi, that this wasn't some spur-of-the-moment tactic. It took years of effort, countless horses sacrificed, just to get the training right, the synchronized movements perfect.
And Yufei's quick thinking, drawing on that old historical counter, just wiped out years of Jurchen military investment in one battle.
Exactly, a massive strategic blow.
But the story doesn't quite end on that triumphant note, does it? Wuzhou's advisor shifts focus pretty fast.
Right. He pivots immediately. Tells Wuzhou basically, okay, that hurts, but it's not the end game. He urges Wuzhou to hold on, to wait. Wait for the arrival of his real ace in the hole, his treasure.
And that treasure is?
The iron floating pagoda. The Tifu Tuo.
Two generals, Niu Gao and Wang Jun, are having this huge, really petty fight over who gets the credit for a recent battle.
Wait, Wang Jun? The guy Niu Gao apparently just saved. He captured supplies, took an enemy general's head, and Wang Jun tries to steal the glory.
That's the one, pure ego, right, undermining the victory almost immediately.
Wow.
But while these two are squabbling over battlefield honors, the real crisis kicks off. Suddenly, several hundred soldiers gather, not cheering, but demanding to retire the grain.
Retire the grain. Meaning?
They want to quit, go home, because they literally don't have enough food to survive.
Okay, so this sounds like maybe a supply screw-up at first glance, but the investigation shows something much worse, right? Deliberate fraud. What exactly were the soldiers finding with their rations?
Yeah, not a mistake. It was criminal. The soldiers were complaining that when they got their ration, supposedly 1 due of grain, that's a standard measure, it only actually measured out to 7 or 8 sheng.
7 or 8 sheng out of 10. That's a 20, even 30% cut. That's not skimming. That's actively weakening your own army. When you're on campaign, every calorie counts.
Exactly. It's basically starving them. It's incredibly dangerous, risks mutiny, everything. So Yufei steps in, demands answers. And who's the officer in charge of logistics here?
Let me guess. Wang Jin.
You got it. The same guy trying to steal credit just moments before. And naturally, he immediately points the finger at his clerk, a man named Qian Ziming.
Of course. Pass the buck. What does the clerk say?
Well, Qian Ziming isn't taking the fall. He throws it right back, says Wang Jun ordered him to make the discount, specifically so they wouldn't fall short of the, quote, official quota.
Ah, so it's systemic. It suggests the pressure, maybe from Qinari's faction, encourages this kind of theft just to make the numbers look good on paper, even if it starves the troops.
Precisely. It's not just one corrupt individual. It's a symptom of a rotten system.
So here's the crux. Yufei's military brain meets his political reality. What does he do? He doesn't mess around on the military side, right?
Not at all. He orders Qian Ziming, the clerk, executed, right there, on the spot. Sends a very clear, very cold message to anyone else handling supplies. Don't steal from the soldiers.
Okay, decisive. But what about General Wang Jun, the guy who likely ordered it?
That's where the politics come in. Wang Jun is forced to immediately pay back everything that was embezzled, every last grain.
Okay, restitution.
Then he's beaten 40 strikes. Painful, humiliating, but, and this is the key part, Yufei spares his life. He ships him back to the capital. Lenin basically saying, you deal with him, Prime Minister Qin Hui.
Oof. General Niu Gao, the straightforward, honest general, he must have been livid about Wang Jun getting off relatively lightly.
Oh, absolutely furious. Niu Gao argues, look, this guy Wang Jun is one of Qin Hui's cronies. He's a traitor in our midst. Execute him now. Cut off future trouble, he says. He sees Wang Jun as a political cancer cell.
It seems like Niu Gao has a point, though. Sending a known enemy back to the capital. Isn't that just handing Qin Hui ammunition to use against Yufei later? Why let him live?
That's the tragic calculation Yufei has to make. He explains it quite clearly. He knows Wang Jun was sent by Qin Hui. Qin Hui is the chancellor, the top civilian power.
Right.
Executing Wang Jun would be like declaring open war on the prime minister himself. Yufei uses that classic phrase, it is best to resolve enmity rather than deepen it.
Eishu Simbos.
He has to choose his battles. He can't fight a war on two fronts against the Jin and against his own government simultaneously. He fixed the immediate problem, the starvation, but had to swallow the political poison for now.
Exactly. He puts a temporary fix on the corruption, knowing the deeper threat from Qin Hui is still there, and that internal weakness, that potential for rot, makes them vulnerable.
Okay, so while Yufei is cleaning up this internal mess, navigating treacherous politics, What's Wuzu, the Jin commander, up to? He must be plotting something after his last big defeat.
He is. Gusu's pretty down after Yufei smashed his chain horse formation. He needs a comeback. Something big, something decisive to turn the tide and boost his own side's morale. He needs a super weapon. And he gets one. The Iron Float, What did the sources suggest this actually was?
It sounds like some kind of massive heavy artillery or maybe siege engine. The text emphasizes it had to be pushed into position, suggesting it was incredibly heavy, probably slow, maybe even fixed once placed.
So not mobile artillery, more like a huge cannon emplacement.
Something like that. Designed for maximum destruction in one spot, not finesse. Think like a precursor to really heavy cannons, capable of just obliterating an encampment in a concentrated barrage. Wuzu's plan. A devastating surprise attack, middle of the night, second watch, total annihilation.
Okay, high stakes.
Yeah.
But here's where intelligence, espionage changes everything. This top secret plan gets overheard.
It does, and by two absolutely critical figures within the Jin camp. A young, apparently sympathetic general named Lu Wenlong and Wang Zuo, who we know is already considering defection.
So they hear about this potentially war-ending attack.
And they grasp the danger immediately. If this Iron Float attack happens as planned, Yufei's army could be wiped out. So Lu Wenlong does something incredibly brave, incredibly risky.
What does he do?
He takes a huge chance, rides out towards the Song camp at dusk, gets just close enough, fires an arrow into the camp, an arrow letter, a chin carrying the warning.
Wow.
Then he wheels around and retreats immediately. Gets the message across without being caught. It's a single shot, delivering information that could save tens of thousands.
And when Yufei gets this letter?
The source says he's startled. This isn't just tactical intel, it's strategic. He understands the threat is existential, and he acts instantly. Shows incredible command presence.
His reaction is key. First step, get his troops out of the kill zone.
Right. The main army is ordered into immediate retreat up to Phoenix Mountain, Obergun, get clear of the bombardment zone entirely.
But he can't just leave the camp looking abandoned, can he? Wuzu would realize the plan's been leaked.
Exactly. So, classic deception. They make the camp look occupied. They use the old hanging sheep and beating drums, tricking noise like a busy cam.
Right.
They set up dummy tents, keep the flags flying. From a distance, it looks like business as usual. They're baiting the trap, essentially, making sure the Iron Floats target empty ground.
So the time comes, middle of the night. The Jin move the Iron Floats into position.
And they let loose. The sources describe it as earth-shaking thunder cannons. Imagine the noise, the impact, even on an empty camp.
And Yufei's generals, watching from Phoenix Mountain, they must have understood immediately what they'd just escaped.
Oh yeah, they see the sheer destruction raining down on where they would have been. The estimate, 60 to 70,000 lives saved by one arrow, one piece of intelligence.
Incredible. But Yufei being Yufei, he doesn't just dodge the bullet, he turns it around, right? He'd already planned a counter move.
Absolutely. He had forces positioned nearby, led by his son Yu Yun and Zongshan, waiting.
And their mission wasn't just reconnaissance, it was sabotage. Surgical sabotage.
Precisely. They wait until the Jin crews fire their massive weapons and start pulling back, thinking, job done.
Yeah, celebrating too early.
Then the Song troops move in, swiftly. Their first job, disable the weapons permanently. They hammer iron nails into the touch holes, the fire holes of the cannons.
Plugging them up.
Exactly. Makes them totally useless. Can't reload, can't fire, maybe even makes them dangerous to try and fire again.
Brilliant. And then they didn't just leave these giant things sitting there.
Nope. The second part of the mission, destroy them completely. They somehow managed to push this entire collection of massive, heavy iron floats into the nearby river.
They sank the superweapon.
Yeah.
Logistical nightmare for the Jin to recover, if even possible.
Total loss. Meanwhile, Wuzu's back in his camp, probably popping the champagne, thinking he's just vaporized Yufei's army.
And then the bad news hits.
Like a ton of bricks! 2 pieces of devastating news at once. First, Lu Wenlong and Wang Zuo, key figures, have defected, gone over to the Song.
Ouch. The source of the leak is now with the enemy.
And second, his amazing superweapon, gone, vanished. Oh wait, found it sunk at the bottom of the river. And the Song camp, back up, looking stronger than ever.
Wuzu must have been absolutely enraged, seeing Yufei's cunning, not just militarily, but in winning over his own people.
Yeah, he basically says, I raised a tiger to harm myself, lamenting Lu Wenlong's defection after raising him almost like a son. He gets outplayed on every level here.
So the immediate result is Lu Wenlong and Wang Zuo are welcomed by Yufei. That intelligence channel is now secure, presumably.
Right, big win for Song intelligence. But, the war doesn't just stop there. Wuzu's down, but not out.
His advisors must be scrambling. What's the next move?
His advisor, Hami-Chi, steps up with a new plan. Not another superweapon, but a complex tactical formation.
Ah, something different.
Yes, the Golden Dragon tail-twisting array. Now, judging by the name and, the context, this sounds less about brute force, more about intricate maneuvers. Maybe cavalry and infantry working together in a complex pattern designed to encircle and crush.
Like a tactical puzzle for Yufei to solve.
Yeah.
A different kind of challenge than just facing down heavy cannons.
Exactly. And the Jin actually send a message asking for time. They demand a 1-month pause in hostilities so they can practice and perfect this new, complicated formation.
Trying to buy time, maybe rebuild morale after the Iron Float disaster.
Seems likely, but Yufei's response is just pure confidence, almost dismissive.
What does he say?
He basically sends back a message saying, tell him to go practice harder. Bring it on whenever you're ready so we can come and break it.
Throwing down the gauntlet. No fear at all. Just, come on, show me what you've got.
Total confidence. It really sets the stage for the next major confrontation. But just as we're bracing for this new battle, the sources pull a classic move.
Cliffhanger time.
You guessed it. Just as things are heating up for the Golden Dragon array, 2 totally unexpected figures arrive at Wuzu's camp. Mysterious visitors.
Who are they?
Li Shufu, who's described as the great king from outside Yunnan, and his nephew, He Manlong.
Yunnan. That's really far south, quite removed from this central conflict. What does that mean?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It throws a huge curveball into the mix. We've just seen how vital intelligence, defections, internal politics are.
Right.
Now Wuzu seems to be reaching out for what? New allies, mercenaries, reinforcements from a completely different region. It suggests he might be getting desperate, looking for any advantage he can find against Yufei.